So we were saying that God comes on earth whenever there is a certain crisis, right? So he comes here. He comes to uphold dharma and raise a certain universal consciousness. Okay, universal. Il n'est pas venu juste pour cette religion, right? No, universal. So the world is a mixture of good and evil. Of course, we have both good and evil in the world due to the influence of our gunas, right? We have three gunas: the sattva gun, the rajas gun, and the tamas gun. So based on the three gunas and because of the three gunas, there is always a mixture of good and bad or evil, right? But they need to be in balanced. Even there are these two elements, goodness and evil, right? They need to be balanced. If goodness rises, fine, okay, but evil should not. But this is what we are seeing every time it happened like that. Let's say when Ram had to come in the Treta Yuga, the way Ravan was behaving. So there was that imbalance between goodness and evil. So he will come, he will destroy, or he will show the right path. We talk about coming to uphold dharma. Okay. According to the Purans, the duty to incarnate remains with Vishnu. It is his duty. It is not actually the duty of Brahma. Okay. But the duty of Vishnu because he is the preserver, right? His incarnations are either complete or partial. For example, when he came as Narasimha, that was partial. He just came to do a certain thing and then he went away. But complete incarnation can be Ram, can be Parshuram, Krishna. Right? Now, one of the purposes of the incarnations is to serve as a role model, what you call Adarsh. Adarsh Vidya, ideal, to serve as an ideal or as a role model. Some people do not pray Ram as God, do not see Ram as God, but as a role model. That is actually the most important thing. But an incarnation on earth, we need to pray, we need to do stuff. No, just following his footstep, his path is enough. And this is what we actually need to do to be able to be liberated. Our aim definitely must be liberation. So to be able to reach that, we need to follow the teachings or the incarnations, whatever they have done, right? Now, talking about Vaishnavism, we talked a bit about the avatar, même qui nous pas dans topic avatar là, but I prefer to talk a bit about it because we are talking about Vishnu right now. So we talked about Vaishnavism earlier, right? It is a sect, it is a cult, right? They are people who actually pray Vishnu. They pray Vishnu in many different forms, right? I mean, different ways of praying him. Some do rituals, fire sacrifices. Certain will just do mala jap, read scriptures and put into practice, okay? So from some, the goal of religious devotion, what we call bhakti to Vishnu, is moksha. All Vaishnav at the end, what they are doing bhakti to Vishnu. It can be in any form, as I told you, Famala jap or reading books, putting into practice, helping people, all this stuff, it means bhakti. If we have to see the word bhakti, it comes from the root word bhaj. Bhaj means to have intense love for God. Okay, bhakti means to have intense love for God. Now, this love, you can show this love in any way you want. It can be in the way of Kevat, it can be in the way of Shabri, in Meera, any, right? So those are from Vaishnavism. Their way to moksha, their way to liberation is bhakti, right? Now, coming to Vishnu, let's see the features of Vishnu. You need to know how to describe Vishnu, his attributes, his iconographic features. You must know that. Premièrement, at times you will see him on the serpent coil, right? Or near the serpent bed, you may call it, right? In the ocean. And you have Lakshmi sitting at his feet, right? Before seva of the husband, okay? Or at times you can see him standing. When he's standing, he is most of the time alone, standing either on again the serpent, or bien the ocean, or bien standing on a lotus as well. These are different forms, different ways of depicting him in a picture, right? So Vishnu is usually seen resting on the serpent coil over the Milky Ocean, or he will be standing. And when he is on the serpent bed, there will be Lakshmi with him. Ou bien on a aussi une forme de Vishnu. He is on the serpent bed, and from his navel comes a lotus. On that lotus, there is Brahma sitting on it, right? You have Vishnu is also featured in that way. Yes, here it is. Good. So this is how it is also depicted. Now, you will see in this picture his clothes, les jaunes. Ici aussi les jaunes, ici aussi les jaunes. Though it is not necessary in pictures, he is wearing yellow clothes, right? Most of the time you will see the gods. They are wearing yellow clothes. Ou bien les capables and saffron color, a robe, okay? Very next to yellow. When they wear the yellow, they are called Pitambara. Pitambar means the one who wears yellow clothes. Why yellow? Yellow is actually the color of knowledge, or you can say learning. It may also symbolize happiness. It may also symbolize peace, meditation, and especially mental development, right? So these are the different interpretations of the color. Right? It is the color of spring and activates the mind. This color activates the mind. You know, when you wear dull colors, your mind also will be dull. But yellow is a very good one to just activate our mind. Lord Vishnu's dress is yellow, symbolizing his representation of knowledge. We say yellow means knowledge. If you get a question like that, if ever, right, that he wears yellow, what is the significance of yellow? Based on the marks, d'après moi, il faut capable n point, right, this type of question. So you can write knowledge and learning, or you can just write happiness or mental development. No need to write every stuff, right? Lord Krishna and Lord Ganesh also wear yellow dresses, if you have noticed in certain pictures, right? Yellow clothes are worn and yellow food is eaten at Spring Festival. I guess, you know, we do khichdi and all. Many of the food is actually yellow in the Indian tradition, using what you call haldi, saffron, right? So we continue. He has 4 hands, right? The 4 hands may symbolize the 4 Purushartha. The 4 Purushartha are Dharma, Artha, Kam, and Moksha. Dharma, as we have seen, it means righteousness. Dharma, Artha means wealth, money. Kama, say pleasures, sensual pleasures. It may mean desires as well. And moksha means liberation. So you may ask yourself the question, why the 4 hands of God? Okay, they represent the 4 Purusharthas. In the 4 Purusharthas, Dharma and Moksha, they are the primary. Then Artha and Kam comes as the secondary Purushartha. Okay, so why Artha and Kam? Artha, money, and Kam, pleasures, sensual, sexual pleasures, desires, and all. To sara se Kam. Because these are natural urges created by God. Okay, so there's nothing wrong to earn money. If we are earning the money in a good way and spending the money in a good way, there's nothing wrong. And there shouldn't even be greed in it. And calm desires are there, but this should not be desires like will lead us on the unrighteous path, right? And calm also involves the control of the senses, right? So God teaches us all these things, right? With his hands, he holds different things, right? We'll see the things right now. He has a garland of flowers, and this garland is known as Vijayanti Mala. Vijayanti Mala, Vijay means victory, right? And Mala, say a garland. So it means a garland of victory. This garland is usually offered to Vishnu or Krishna. If it's a heart like this. There is also a precious jewel on his chest known as Kastubha. It represents pure consciousness, right? This precious stone, Kastubha, came from the churning of the ocean. Okay, and it is said that it is the most valuable jewel which ever exists. Okay, so vous trouvez tous les temps, il y a un garland or a chain, something, et puis il y a un kasturba in that, right? Donc, in a certain picture, so chain plus long, etc. But whatever the thing is, il y a un kasturba with him. He is depicted blue in complexion, right? He is always depicted in blue, right? Why? He's believed to be all-pervading. He's everywhere. He is omnipresent. So Lord Vishnu is shown in blue color, as blue represents infinity. When you see the sky, you see it to be blue, right? Though it is not exactly like, okay, you can call it illusion also, but blue actually, quand nous peut trouver, okay, the sky is infinite, so blue is representing infinity, right? And sky, you know, the blue sky, as we know, has no end, has no beginning. Where does it end? Where does it begin? We don't know, right? So he is depicted as blue, and the blue represents he is infinite, right? There are many other interpretations about him being blue, okay? Have given you the links here, you can go and watch it. But as per your Form 5 syllabus, this should be enough, right? It will be enough that blue color represent infinity. Or maybe si je t'ai fait HSC and all, then this will help you, right? But there's nothing wrong in knowing it. We said he has 4 arms. In one, don't 4 arms, don't 4 hands. He's going to, in one hand, he holds a conch, what you know as the shank. It is called the Panchajanya. The name of the shank is Panchajanya. You should know all these terms. The word Panchajanya means something collectively produced from 5 elements. Pancha means 5, right? So the 5 elements, fire, water, ether, air, earth, right? Now, the conch represents creativity, represents creation. C'est ça qui nous dit, pareil comme damru, the sound of creation, right? Parce que it produces sound, no? Well, you may interpret it also like divine energy, but the best way to interpret it, say it symbolizes creativity, or you say it is the sound of creation. When we blow the Panchajanya Shankha, all the negativity present, the negativity, sorry, we get rid of them, right? It removes all negativity. So this is how the Panchajanya actually is. Tuban Shanklipa Pare, they have different interpretations, right? So I continue. In another hand, he holds a discus, also known as the Chakra Sudarshan. Inajari Sudarshan Chakra or Chakra Sudarshan, whatever it is, it symbolizes the beauty of creation that runs in circles of construction, destruction, and reconstruction. It's like the process, the 3 process, the creation, you preserve it, you destroy it, and after destruction, there is creation again. It is a cycle, right? So it may represent that, Zutkuni Chakra Sudarshan is 4, right? The chakra rotates and is symbolic to the cycle of karma. Karma is like that. You do an action, you get reaction. Le moment que vous get reaction, ou bien qu'on fait action, you will get another reaction. It goes like that, the cycle of karma. Or you may interpret the cycle of karma in this way. You are born, you die, you take birth again, you grow, you die, you take birth again, right? This is the cycle. Now, why does he use this? To maintain law and order, right? He uses it to destroy. There are many places in the Mahabharata where Krishna has used his his Chakra Sudarshan to destroy people, right? To destroy demons. There's another version. I guess I missed it here. The chakra also symbolizes illumination. Okay, when he is destroying, he's maintaining law and order, he's destroying, he's bringing goodness, he's bringing illumination, right? So that can be the significance of the discus. Then he has a mace in another hand, a mace also known as the Gada, which Hanuman also carries. This Gada is known as Kaumudi. The Gada is a symbol of strength. Gada is not something light, be very easy, heavy, be very heavy, okay? So it symbolizes strength. If you are weak, the person who is weak is definitely not, he won't be able to lift that Gada. Okay, so God is omnipotent. He also holds a lotus, right? And the lotus is called as Padma. The lotus is regarded as a symbol of purity, right? You know, the lotus comes from mud, right? And when the lotus blooms, you don't find any mud, right, on that lotus. Completely pure. We actually mean we are living in this world full of materialism, full of maybe evils, right? You can say it exists, all these things exist in this world. But we need to be like the lotus, malgré qu'il nous peut vivre dans le monde full of evils, materialism, so many dirt around us, right? Yet we need to flourish, to bloom like this lotus, which is very difficult to do. Because human nature is like that. We always get tempted by people or things around us. With that, Vishnu has taken incarnations. 10 are considered to be the major. Can you please rejoin? It will disconnect in few seconds.